Hey there, welcome to day 28 of The Businesswoman Who Creates Time and day who knows of my Bon Jovi beach hair because my hairdresser is still closed for the new year. Only a few days to go though. I'm Rachel Evans. I am the CEO and founder at The Real Rachel. And I've been here with you for the last 27 days, sharing insights, tips, strategies, tactics, and my thoughts about being in business, being a woman in business, also running a household, being a mum, a partner, and all of the things that go along with juggling all of that at once. And what I'm always aiming for with my clients, being a coach and a mentor, is that we're not just making sure that our business is humming, we're making sure that our life is operating the way we want it to as well. But one of those things that we tend to overlook, particularly at the end of one year going into the next year, is looking at if the way we were working inside the business actually worked for us over the 12-month period. Now, a few days ago in this series, I suggested that you actually take the time to write out what your ideal day just in life might look like. The mix of work and home and downtime, etc. But that will likely contain something that suggests, you might do a few hours work and then blah, blah, and blah. But it's what happens in those few hours work that's actually key to whether or not the rest of your ideal day is going to go to plan. Because if you get swallowed up into a rabbit hole in those few hours at work, those few hours will turn into the rest of the day and maybe even swallow your entire week. It's actually what I discuss in Module 6 of my online program, Sort Your Shit Out, which is helping you go through the different areas of the business, including your work week, to put systems in place that mean we're running optimally. Because what we don't want to do is be at work feeling guilty that we're not doing something at home with the kids, with our partner. Just like we don't want to be at home and not be present there thinking about the thing we didn't get done at work. So it's six of one and half a dozen of the other as to whether you work on the outside work stuff first or the business stuff. But my mind is wired business to produce an outcome for life. So I'm starting over here with you in the business side. So in Module 6, I step you through something called the success flow. Now, none of my modules in Sort Your Shit Out are more than 20 minutes long because who's got more time than that when you've got all of this stuff that you're in charge of? Business, kids, running around, military style operation, running the household, relationship with a partner or not, looking after pets, looking after plants, maybe looking after elderly parents, and finding time for yourself. Like, holy moly, come on. So I show you in that module how to set yourself up for a success flow at work that doesn't get you sucked into a vortex that means you don't come out for days. And the mummy guilt doesn't follow you to work. Just like we don't want the CEO guilt following you back into the home. So setting your calendar up for bursts of work and a particular type and time of meeting that you have with team members, with your own customers or clients or patients, depending on the type of business that you have, is vital. We've got to set ourselves up to work in a way that supports our strengths, not drain ourselves because we've neglected to either discover or acknowledge what our weaknesses are. So I'm not the type of person that can sit down at a desk and work through from 9 until 5. I do my best work first thing in the morning and in sprints. So I might work for 50 minutes and then I'll get up, walk around and satisfy all of my ADHDness. I'll go and get a coffee. I'll go outside in the sun. Sitting in the sun for me, even for 5 minutes, game changer. Doesn't matter if it's the middle of winter, I'll still go and find the sun. In that 10 minutes between sprints, it might be listening to music, might be jumping on the treadmill, walking for 5 minutes, going outside, walking for 5 minutes, going and speaking to my partner, whatever it is. So we've got to acknowledge the way you work best, and then we've got to feed that into your success flow. Now, you might be at a point in business where it's just you at work and you feel like you've got no choice but to do all the hours available to you. And you put the kids in before or after school care so you can get that extra time because you are in a building and scaling phase. But we don't want you to be there forever because that's how we get burnt out. And there are people that can help us get past that stage. We can hire VAs, we can hire real in-person people to add to our team. Many of you will have that as a goal, but some of you won't, and that's okay. You just want to stay as a solo operator. I know plenty of women in business that have successful businesses, particularly online, just staying solo. You can still leverage your time. But before we can do that, you've actually got to think about whether the way you worked in the business last year even served you, and what are the things that you notice immediately you can change. If you have a team, look at the meeting time. Is the length of the meeting time necessary? No one in my workshop whisperer business, where I've got a team of 15, is allowed to have a meeting longer than 30 minutes. Most are maximum 20 minutes. Why? Because you just waffle on if you're giving yourself an hour. So have a think about that. If you're face to face with your customers, as in you're in a physical retail shop, what is your role in that? And does it need to continue the same way next year? Is it time to hire a team member? There's modules inside Sort Your Shit Out, and my part 2 of that, Sort Your Assistant Out, to help you with that as well. But what we want you to take away from today, did the way you worked last year work? And if it didn't, what are you taking into this year and what needs refining? And if you work parts of days because you've bookended by things with the kids, how do we maximize that time that you are there? Do you need to work in sprints as well? Or can you do 2-hour blocks? What does it look like? And when you put those blocks into your calendar, because you should pre-populate them for the entire year and then tweak them and move them around as needed, consider what your likely distractions are and attempt to eliminate them. I often have to make sure I have no other tabs open other than the one I need to work in, because my brain will look for brain breaks all the time, and it might want to go to social media, or it might want to go to something else that I had open once upon a time that takes my focus. I put my phone into sleep mode. So the only people that can actually contact me are the kids and my parents and my husband. And usually during my work times, they're not trying to contact me anyway. They're either at school, doing their own stuff, husband's at work as well. So what measures do you need to put in place to protect your work time so that you get the stuff done, so that when it's time to flick back over into mum or wife or partner or fur mummy, you are present for that? If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.